Disappointing? Upsetting? Yeah, it is. It's upsetting that the Phillies get swept by the Dodgers. They didn't win one baseball game. I know the Dodgers are great. I really do. I understand that they're almost, honestly, running away with the NL. But I'm still bothered that the Phillies couldn't win one baseball game. Good test. It's good to know where you are. Honestly, it could be a blessing in disguise as the upper management now realizes maybe they really need to go out and attack things. But all around, I thought that the Phillies should have been able to at least win one game in this 3-game set, especially game 2. But here we are as we fall this afternoon. Pretty badly. We lose 8-0, and that 8th inning was abysmal. It was a joke. It was a circus. The ball was flying around everywhere. It looked like Little League Baseball. I don't know what to tell you. But the game switched. The game flipped momentum there after Nick Pivetta was pulled. I understand that there's guys on first and second, and we didn't score or produce anything all night long, so Nick Pivetta's spot comes up in the lineup, and you have a chance to knock in a run. You go out there, you pinch hit, you put in Phil Gosselin, and you try and spark up a little bit of offense. I understand that mindset, but here's where I look the other way. As a manager, you need to think on your toes. It's not so much what is going to happen right now. It's not so much just that particular spot in the game right there. You need to think ahead. And knowing that our bullpen is insanely banged up, knowing that the game prior, we did the opener, we used Cole Irving for 3 2/3 of an inning and abused the bullpen. Knowing that, you need to play a little bit of thinking ahead. I mean, you can't just expect the situation to be the only thing on your mind as a manager. Well, what do you do once you pull Nick Pivetta? Well, you got to rely on Vin Velasquez. Well, that didn't work. You got to rely on some other bullpen guys. That didn't work. Nick Pivetta, and I've been anti-Nick Pivetta for so long, 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, only 82 pitches in the baseball game at the time of his pulling. The momentum changed insanely once he left the game. He was finally having a good outing. He was finally giving the starting core a game where you don't have to rely so heavily on relief pitching. Use that to your advantage. Use that to your advantage. And I thought that was a bad move by Gabe Kapler. I understand the thought process. Listen, it's the simple one. When you look at it right in the face, it says, okay, you have a chance to score a run, you put up you put up a pinch hitter. But you got to think deeper. You need to think more than that. We've been abusing the bullpen, especially the night before. Nick Pivetta is finally giving you something. It's a battle between Hill and Pivetta. It's not like Pivetta was sitting at 95 pitches now. He had 82 through 6. What if he could give you 7 or 8 and stay in the game and it was 0-0 and then what happens? I'm not saying we would have definitely won if Nick Pivetta stayed in the baseball game, but what I'm saying is the game completely changed once Vince Velasquez came in. And what is Vince Velasquez? I mean, he's not a starter. Is he a relief guy? He gives you one good inning here, he gives you a bad inning there. What is he? He was a problem today as we lose the lead as soon as he comes in with a home run from Freese. What is he? And going back to Nick Pivetta here, that was great. But the problem is he gives that 1 every 5 starts. We need that 4 out of 5, 3 out of 4. We need this Nick Pivetta. This Nick Pivetta I can work with. I wouldn't be anti. This was fantastic, Nick Pivetta. Nick Pivetta that should have stayed in the baseball game, in my opinion. Once again, I know that the Phillies offense scored 0 runs. I know they did. But I saw the game changed to an extreme once he left the ball game. And realistically, I know this is a funny way to look at it, but no one could get going offensively. Why couldn't Nick Pivetta slap something up the middle? I mean, why are you going to trust at that point if no one could get going? Is Nick Pivetta's chance worse than anybody else's? No, once again, I know that's kind of funny to think that way, but, you never know with baseball. Who knows? Nick Pivetta could have hit one up the middle, and that could have spiraled into an inning for the Phils. No, I'm not relying heavily on that. I'm just saying. If no one else could get going, how bad is Nick Pivetta in that spot? Could he have had a worse at-bat than Phil Gosselin? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. You see the Phillies now lose 4 straight games. Getting swept by L.A., big picture. I mean, listen, you're playing the best team in the NL, all right? But This team's good enough to get a win. One win out of 3 games in LA. And it's very disappointing that we didn't. And now you look at the lead. Look at that NL East lead. 1 game. 1 game as we fall 4 in a row. And we play San Diego tomorrow to start a series. So we still chill on the West Coast. We still have some late night baseball games here on the East Coast. But we go play San Diego. The lead is 1. The lead is 1. It slipped to that. That's why those games are so important. That 1 game that we let slip. It's a test. It's good to know where we stand. But guess what? We're probably farther along than you think for the NL. And realistically, when you do think about it, and when people ask me, how do you feel about the Phillies? Where do you think they are this year? I always say I see them going to the NLDS, and I don't know if they win it. I don't know if they lose it. But I see the NLDS as a picture. Well, the more I think about it, and the more I just saw what happened against the Dodgers, I say, okay, I guess that really is a fair assessment. That's a fair placement for the Phillies when it comes to where do you see them getting to this season. Because we're not on the Dodgers level. They've lost 7 home games. 7. They're lethal. I mean, what they do is they get production out of their starting pitching, which goes hand in hand with my theory on Nick Pivetta again once today. We finally had a chance. We had a chance for our starter to maybe go 7, 8 innings. But then we rock and roll with Vin Velasquez, Garcia, Rios. You need to think deeper than just that situation to score 1 run. You pick your poison. You really do. You pick your poison. Do you say, okay, well, we'll have an attempt. We'll have a chance to score a run, but then we need to rely on some bullpen guys when we're all banged up and had a lot of bullpen pitchers being used as of late? Or you throw Nick Pivetta out there, and you'll be able to rock and roll with your starting pitcher for a little bit longer and not have to worry about the deep bullpen. I would have went the opposite of what Gabe Kapler decided to do. And it is what it is. It is what it is. But I've seen this guy do this now. And once again, not saying keeping Nick Pivetta in the game would have meant we won the baseball game. But I don't see the logic past the first floor of looking at the situation. It needs to go deeper than that. And I feel like, I'm not saying fire Gabe, but what I'm saying is a more established manager, someone who's been around longer, might think that way. Gabe Kapler's new to the managing game, and that's not his fault. If I'm going to say Brett Brown needs time to develop as a coach, well, Gabe Kapler needs time to develop as a manager. Hopefully that's something he grows into, though. He needs to realize that. It's crazy that Hunter Brody from South Jersey can see that. But he doesn't think that way. I know it's tougher in this situation, but I mean, listen, you're a professional. You're a professional. That's the way I see it. And it's a shame because I thought the Phillies let a game slip and they battled, right? They competed. If that 8th inning didn't go like the way it did, it probably wouldn't taste as bad. Because right now I'm sick to my stomach thinking about the way that 8th inning went. And if we lose 1-0, it's like, hey, okay, we went to battle with this team. But yeah, Bryce Harper missing a play, misreading a ball terribly. And that kind of sparked and went through everybody else. When you see your leader do that, well, then it kind of has a domino effect. But if we lose 1-0, you look at it and say, okay, this team battle, went to war, 3 games, it is what it is. Now it doesn't taste as sweet. That's for damn sure. It doesn't taste as sweet of a battle when you have that much of an embarrassing 8th inning. It really was. It looked like Little League down the street where they just didn't know what to do with the ball, throwing it all over the place, people falling over. Crazy. Just crazy. So, I mean, the only thing you can do from this point after you lose 4 straight and get swept is move the hell on. Move the hell on. Good test to see where you're at. You're not good enough. Move on. Move on. And we have to worry about San Diego next. And, we'll see. Well, the good old Manny Machado. It was the argument all off season long. Which one are we going to go for? Bryce Harper, Manny. Bryce Harper, Manny. Well, here you go. Here's the storyline for this next series. We're playing Manny Machado. And we're going to their atmosphere to do it. Also, when I recorded my video a little bit earlier on the first 2 games of the series, I mentioned Jay Bruce, and it looked like when it comes to the money situation, it's not going to be as bad as I originally thought. The original rumors were we were going to pick up a hefty amount of money when it comes to his contract, but it seems like we sent off a nobody prospect, if you will, and the money part of this deal is nowhere as bad as originally expected. So that's nice for what it is. So, hey, here we are. 1 game ahead of the Braves. You know, I don't want to lose the damn lead. I will be insanely pissed off if we lose the NL East lead. I know there's a lot of time left. I know that the Braves are hot and they're going to be winning games and it's going to be a battle all season long. Don't lose the lead. Don't lose the lead. Do not lose the lead. Don't lose the lead.